I knew it! This episode was truly something, and Jesus, that ending was diabolical. But before I explain my thoughts about what happened, let's do a quick summary of this week's episode. We start the episode off with a reporter saying that Nice's trust value plummeted after God's Eye exposed that Moon is alive. Outside of the Hero Tower, several fans of Nice are protesting, saying that he should ignore God's Eye's threats. This protest had a big impact on Nice, to the point that he couldn't even use his powers to fly away from the PR team anymore. The will of the people made him freeze right as he was about to reach the elevator and fall to the ground like a puppet with its strings cut off. The three-man company sent in a hero to defeat God's Eye in his stead. That hero was called Blankster, a boxer who had the power to erase memories. God's Eye mentioned how much money the three-man company put on Blankster to become the hero he is today. I couldn't help but think how calculating it was for the three-man company to model a hero that can clean up any messes for them by giving him the ability to erase memories. But God's Eye knew how the masses worked and exposed Blankster as a fraud who cheated his way to victory in the boxing ring. Because of that, Blankster's trust value dropped and he lost his abilities. To interrupt God's Eye's broadcast, Lin Ling's advertisement pitch that we watched at the beginning of the show was played, where we see the original Nice fighting and Lin Ling saying that anyone can be a hero. At first I thought that somebody stole Lin Ling's ad idea, and maybe X had helped him by playing it on the screen. But it turns out that the IT team just used the latest ad that was in Miss J's emails, and it happened to be that pitch. Miss J mentioned that it was saccharine garbage. It was sweet and sentimental, but it served as a reminder for Lin Ling. This was such a poetic way for Lin Ling to remember who he truly was, who he wanted to become. He didn't want to be nice, he wanted to be a hero, his own hero. We started the show watching that ad, and it was how we were first introduced to Nice. It was the reason Lin Ling got fired in the first place and basically what started it all. It's also what ended Nice's character arc in this episode, because after watching that ad, Nice started losing his powers and he became Lin Ling once more. Lin Ling rushed through the horde of protesting fans who didn't recognize him. But there were some very observant ones that saw the pants and shoes he was wearing and thought he might be a lookalike. And all I can think of was, "Sister, you have some really great eyes." When Lin Ling arrived at the scene, he exposed everything to God's Eye. How Nice died and he replaced him. How he was Lin Ling, a nobody and just your average 9-to-5 worker. The truth about Nice's death left the fans devastated, and the one article about Lin Ling's death was exposed to the public as a lie. God's Eye and Lin Ling fight, because to God's Eye, he needed to be punished for lying to begin with. He didn't care that Lin Ling was being honest now. What he wanted was retribution. Lin Ling was getting beat up, because at this point, he's become a completely normal person again. He lost the trust value he inherited from Nice, but he continued to stand up no matter how many times God's Eye took him down. He kept fighting for Moon, and the people watching him struggle but kept fighting on started to cheer for him, and thus a new hero was born. At the end of their fight, we see that the Moon God's Eye was holding hostage was indeed a fake, and yes, my reaction at the beginning was me reacting to the episode for the first time. I mentioned in a previous analysis video that I thought that this Moon was fake and that God's Eye was using a random girl as a hostage and putting an illusion on her. Well, I was wrong with the random girl. Because he was using a mannequin, I was right about the Moon being a fake thing. It was said that the Three-Man Association built a team to take down the Spotlight organization before panning down to the side, and oh my god, X really is the KFC man in this universe. We made fun of him for looking like Colonel Sanders so much that he became him. We see the real Moon and what she's been up to. It turns out that she's found herself in a deserted island and has been trying to escape from it since she left. It made me wonder if this was the cost of her freedom and the perception of death from the public. No matter how hard she tries sending bottles into the ocean, the waves keep pushing it back, as if telling her that this is the only way for Moon to be dead to the public, but still alive at the same time. Lin Ling arrived through her portal to give her her teleportation gun. They had a cute moment together until it happened. It was truly lucky that I decided to record my reaction to this episode, because what the hell was that? Now that a quick TLDR is done, it's time for some theories. First of all, I'm still shocked at what happened at the end. At the beginning of episode 1 where Lin Ling saw Moon's corpse was a premonition after all. It was a nightmare that led to this scene. I have something to say about Lin Ling and Isol regarding the preview of the next episode, but I'll put that at the last second of this video so those who don't want to get spoiled won't. But back to the theory time. I find it interesting that Lin Ling was able to use Moon's teleportation gun. After all, it's tied to her power. I don't think it would make sense for anyone who has the gun to just be able to use it, you know? Lin Ling's new believers also trusted in him being in love with Moon. They are connected in their eyes, and that could possibly give him the ability to use her gun and teleport. Their stories are intertwined together, and they could have been the power couple if Moon came back. But no, she had to die. Giving Lin Ling teleportation powers also makes sense story-wise if he'd ever want to face off against Isol. Isol is a speedster. How are you supposed to keep up with him if you only have super strength? With teleportation, that's how. We also got a scene that introduces us to all the heads of the hero agencies, and all of them seem to be interested in signing Lin Ling. We were all able to see them in the opening before, and I called them our villains, and you know what? Considering everything that's going on, and how they treat the heroes as mere commodities, I don't think I'm too far off. Lin Ling was given the hero name Commoner. It's to signify to everyone that anyone can be a hero. His fight against God's Eye reminded me of Spider-Man a lot. Not in the sense that they're the same, but the message that it wanted to give to the viewer. Spider-Man always gets back up no matter how many times he's pushed down and brought to his knees. It was the scene that made me tear up and cry when I watched Into the Spider-Verse, because it gave me a sense of hope. No matter who you are, no matter how the world will tell you that you can't do it, just stand up and continue. It's a hopeful message that anyone can relate to, and I believe it's the reason why Lin Ling's trust value shot up to rank 10 so quickly. Lin Ling, who went from zero to hero, gave the common folks hope. Hope that not all heroes are fabricated. Hope that there are still people out there fighting for justice, and hope that one day they can be heroes too. As we've seen so far, people's beliefs can be negative too. But what kind of negativity will it bring to Lin Ling, who wanted to be a hero and who's fighting for the common folks? He's not just a hero, he's our hero. Cue the communism jokes here. No, but for real, I'm curious how the public's beliefs will shape Lin Ling. Will he stay true to himself because he introduced himself as a nobody and the people will view him as just an ordinary guy who happens to become a hero? Or will he be forced to always fight for what's right even if it's against his will? Say, for example, he became friends with a villain but was forced to kill them because that's what the public deems as right. After all, there are villains and nemesis out there that are fabricated and created by the agencies. They could be good people, like Rek, who was just doing the job assigned to him, and Wolf Girl, who was trying to free Fearman, even though I'm pretty sure Wolf Girl probably killed a couple civilians from the bombs she set off. I don't know, leave your thoughts down below. I also wanted to talk about how it's a bit confusing for me that Lin Ling still has a tuft of white hair on him, indicating that there's still a little bit of Nice inside. It didn't help that Nice's theme song played when he was fighting against God's Eye. While I think it's fitting considering the lyrics of the song about a paragon leading to the light, I think it would have also been a great time to introduce Lin Ling's own theme song. It also didn't help the fact that in the character rating poll on Bilibili, instead of Lin Ling replacing Nice's slot completely or taking Nice out, Lin Ling was just added in. On a side note, this poll is apparently very important, since it will affect how Season 2 and the tournament arc will play out. It's a very unique marketing strategy and storytelling device, because we get involved in the trust and hero system of the world too. So if you can vote, vote for your favorite. I'll leave the link down in the description below. Is Lin Ling his own hero now, or will he continue to trudge in Nice's shadow? Apropos theme music, I'm betting that in the next episode's opening, we'll have Lin Ling's hero form added in it. Now for the aforementioned episode 5 preview. We're finally starting with the Isol storyline, and we see in the preview how he was just an ordinary guy acting on stage to entertain children. But the thing is, he's acting as Isol, which means that the Isol we know right now has also replaced the old one. Could the original Isol be the alien-looking character we see briefly in the opening and in his trailer? Perhaps they did something evil that twisted them into becoming so different. There's also mentions on Twitter that the child Isol was talking to could have been Lin Ling, and I couldn't help but agree. Like, yes, there's also a chance that it's just some random kid, but if you've designed characters before along with their kid versions, you know that you need the viewers to realize that it's them, so artists keep certain elements in their designs. In this case, aside from the brown hair and eyes, we see the kid wearing a t-shirt in a similar style that Lin Ling was wearing in episode 1. There's also the hairstyle. While in episode 1, Lin Ling's bangs covers his forehead, at the end of episode 4 he has it swooped to the side, very similar to the kid's hairstyle. This is why I also think that the child could be Lin Ling. Anyways, as always, please share your thoughts. And also please add a spoiler warning if you want to talk about Isol. Thanks guys! Oh, I also want to mention that episode 2 of my webcomic is out. Please check it out too. See you guys next week. Bye!
Now, good night.
Oh, thank you, my lady. Be careful of my heart, won't you? You see, you're taking it home with you tonight. Please, don't break it.
Good night, Your Grace. Goodbye, until tomorrow.